What's good, YouTube? In today's video, I want to talk to y'all about Rachel Nichols, man. I have a breakdown of the Rachel Nichols situation. I'm gonna show y'all a bunch of the clips that I have on Rachel Nichols, and then I'll be right back to show y'all another clip of Rachel Nichols explaining how ESPN spied on her. So with that being said, let's get into these flashback clips. Salute.
They said to me, hey, instead of hosting the NBA Finals, why don't you do Doris's sideline reporter job for the NBA Finals? Because guess what that was cleared away for? For Maria to do the hosting for us. Yeah. So, I have declined. I don't know what their next move is, but they are feeling pressure because of all of that, and I'm trying to figure out like how to just, my thing is that I wish Maria Taylor all the success in the world. She covers football, she covers basketball. If you need to give her more things to do because you're feeling pressure about your crappy one-time record on diversity, which by the way I myself know personally from the female side of it, go for it. Just, find it somewhere else. You're not gonna find it with me. They said to me, me too. I don't know, I'm exhausted. Me too, but I'm not ready. What do you think about it? And at 2 in the afternoon, 3 days from now, you're going to text me a perfect Thursday. Yeah. But that's it. That's the average.
Yeah, and it's you could frame it almost you could actually generate a really interesting conversation about how it's, just so very white male for them in turn to women at each other to compete over the one spot that they're paying to go to them. That's like a broader conversation about all the spots that should be under consideration.
There isn't just one seat at the table for a minority of whichever version this week we're trying to please.
If you think about it, this is precisely the problem we've been talking about for a long time. This is white men. It is an example of one black person in Florida. You don't get to have a black woman in a prominent spot and feel like, okay, the whole work is done.
We're done.
And you certainly don't get to say, okay, if you have a white woman and a woman in a critical seat, and now that we're going to put a black woman in that case, the question is, where are the other seats that white males are in? That should be under consideration.
I remember Steven Jackson came out and he responded to it like this.
Rach, what's up? We've been around with you. We've been staying down with you. Got a lot of love for you. But this ain't looking too good. You know what I mean? This ain't looking too good. I've been said fuck ESPN a long time ago. That's why I don't work for them. That's why you already know how it went down with me. You know what I'm saying? But ain't no need for us to not speak on it when everything else is being spoken on. So we need to figure out what was the context and what you were saying. Because we ride with Maria. We gonna ride with our people first. That's just how it go. But I always showed you love and I always showed you respect regardless where I was or what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've been said fuck ESPN. We all know how that shit went down with me. You dig what I'm saying? But we need some clarity on that. Because this is only looking one way. And we Team Maria, just like we was Team You. Need answers?
Because let's quickly talk about Miss Rachel Nichols. Maria Taylor knows what a generational talent she is in the broadcasting world, so I don't even got to go there and hype her up. Let's talk about the fact that she actually played basketball. And if you want to go there, let's go there. Let's talk about how you're related to Diane Sawyer, arguably the queen of ABC. Nah. You got your job as one of the faces of ESPN because you're so entertaining and talented and so good at it, right?
There is also the absolute fact that 2 years ago, Rose was accused of participating in a gang rape.
You are a woman in the sports world, and you sat there and you laughed about the Me Too movement. About your fellow women complaining about being sexually assaulted at work. You think that's funny? What really got me is you're tired of the Black Lives Matter movement because you weren't tired about posting about it or making your stupid little storybook monologues about it. Maybe instead of crying and calling Maria a diversity token, you can direct that energy to the people who think there can only be one woman on that stage. And if we're being real, Rachel Nichols is a subpar reporter. Subpar. Boring. Not great. I'm sorry your white privilege didn't work this time. Maybe next time.
Hate the people who hate the truth. Ask yourself, why they didn't offer her the job initially? Why they didn't offer Maria the job initially? Before they even gave it to Rachel, why they didn't offer it to her then? They only did that because they didn't want to look like racists during the Black Lives Matter and the movement was going on when George Floyd happened. It's just that simple. If they wanted her to have a job, they would have offered it to her initially. Rachel did deserve that job. It's just plain and simple. I talked to Rachel, and I know a lot of things she was saying out of frustration because ESPN put her in a bad position, and they even put Maria in a position of trying to give Maria a sympathy job, right? But then they backstab her and release an article saying Maria says she wants Stephen A. money, that she don't want the $5 million. She ain't never said that. You got to know when they making you they show pony. They just didn't want to look like racists. That's why they gave her that job. Not saying she don't deserve it, but they only did. If they wanted her to have a job, they would have gave it to her initially without giving it to Rachel and taking it from her. Rachel did deserve that job. You know what I'm saying? I can't blame Rachel. I love Rachel and I'm going to stand behind her. I spoke to her. Y'all don't want them facts, huh? Good night, y'all.
How much I value our colleagues here at ESPN. How deeply, deeply sorry I am for disappointing those I hurt, particularly Maria Taylor, and how grateful I am to be part of this outstanding team.
So yeah, man, like I said, man, I have a lot of clips of this situation. I had broke it down. A lot of people was responding to it at the time. And yeah, man, so with that being said, let's get into Rachel Nichols' story of her explaining how ESPN spied on her. So let's get into Rachel Nichols finally coming out and speaking about her situation. Here's the video.
Get straight to it to tell us about your departure from ESPN.
The New York Times did an expose in July of 2020 on racism at ESPN and the lack of opportunities for people of color. And around the same time, I got a phone call asking me, would I step aside for Maria to host the NBA Finals and have me go back to being a sideline reporter? They were putting a lot of pressure on me. You know, I was being told, well, you're not a team player. And at this time, I was also getting ready to leave for the bubble and went down there, and it was a different set of equipment than I had been using to broadcast at home. I didn't know that if you leave a particular app running in the background, that the line from my hotel room, looking into my hotel room, to Bristol would stay open. Unfortunately, that entire time, nobody back at ESPN told me that there was an open line to my hotel room and anyone who looked at the feed could see me. No one shut it off. And at least one person decided to just sit and watch and started spying on me like I was their own personal television show. And they started recording my conversation on their cell phone. This was a conversation between me and a friend. We talked about a lot of different things. But then he brought up the article that had been in the paper about the lack of opportunities for people of color at ESPN. So we started talking about it. And then I said, I wish Maria Taylor all the success in the world. She covers football, she covers basketball. Are feeling pressure about your crappy long-time record on diversity, which, by the way, I know personally from the female side. Well, then go for it.
All right, man. So y'all heard it from the horse's mouth. The same shit happens to Donald Sterling. It happens, man. It's unfortunate that when people want to take you down, all they got to do is just kind of bait you into a conversation or maybe just catch you when you pissed off, ranting, and there it is, man. You have to treat coworkers like coworkers. Coworkers are not your family. They're not your best friends. They're not finna have you back if you go down, because I guarantee a lot of the people who needed to speak up for Rachel Nichols didn't speak up. If they did, they faced backlash. You know what I mean? Like, look at that apology video that they did.
In journalism school is don't be the story. And I don't plan to break that rule today or distract from a fantastic finals. But I also don't want to let this moment pass without saying how much I respect, how much I value our colleagues here at ESPN, how deeply, deeply sorry I am for disappointing those I hurt, particularly Maria Taylor, and how grateful I am to be part of this outstanding team.
Well, Rachel, I want to say thank you. Thank you for accepting responsibility for your actions. You know, as someone that has known you for a long time, you know, being around you, you have treated me with the utmost respect, and you always made me feel comfortable in your presence. And I know your heart, you know, great person, great individual. I also know Maria Taylor, great person as well. Very, very talented, hardworking, and I feel like she also deserves every opportunity that is presented her way. My only hope is that we have a commitment overall to support each other through this process and continue to support each other through our journey.
I agree with Perk. Let me first say this. I fully support Maria Taylor. I've worked with her since I joined ESPN at Get Up and Countdown, and I've known Rachel for 20 years. Rachel and our entire group here have had some very difficult conversations over this time period, and those conversations don't end here. We will continue to have uncomfortable conversations. No one is excused. She is not excused. I am not excused. Perk. This doesn't just go away, but we have to learn and understand it and become better for each other. And really through our actions more than anything, and that is our responsibility. And we all have a role in that, and that's something that I take pride in, and I hold to myself and everyone to a very high standard.
Well, thank you guys both for being with me here today. Thank you, everyone out there, for being with us here.
And that explains the apology video. That explains why that apology video was bullshit. She clearly didn't want to apologize. Perk and Richard Jefferson did more talking than her, and it was just like, that made it even worse. She shouldn't even apologize. She should have quit right then and there. So yeah, man, with that being said, I don't want to hold y'all too long in this video. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. This is Self Talk for Self Talk News. Please hit that thumbs up button. Salute. I'll catch y'all on the next video.